The new strand aspect for hunters might be the most fun thing to use in the entire game, and surprisingly, it's actually pretty strong. It isn't game breaking either. I think it's extremely well balanced in the current sandbox, yet good enough in underpower content to use. So I wanted to combine this with Foe Tracer, which is also essentially brand new because of its rework, to make an ability spam build. With the new aspect, anytime we destroy a Tangle, whether we throw it or shoot it, we release a Whirlwind made of strand energy. Now, the Whirlwind on its own does solid damage, and it also tracks, making it extremely good for passive ad clear. But it also releases unraveling rounds when it kills enemies, increasing its damage potential even further. And it lasts a while. I think it's around 12 seconds in total, but Tangles can also be spawned in every 12 seconds. So you can manage to have a few of these roaming around at the same time if you manage to not destroy the Tangle immediately after spawning it. With Foe Tracer on, we're also able to use these abilities to mark powerful combatants, which instantly gives ×4 weapon surges to weapons matching our subclass type. So I decided to run this with Quicksilver Storm, which is also going to work well with some of these seasonal mods we have in the artifact. Then with the rest of the build, everything focuses on ability uptime so that we constantly have methods to create new Tangles, and other means to generate orbs of power so we can constantly get Woven Mail to stay alive. The nice part with this setup is you can save abilities until you get the grenade charges with Quicksilver, then use them to proc the ×4 surges to max out your damage against powerful combatants. Overall, the build is extremely fun, and I give it a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 overall in endgame content. Especially with champions in mind, having suspend is extremely useful. Anyways, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to drop a quick like and sub down below, and let's hop straight into the build. First things first, make sure you're running Quicksilver Storm, and also more important than that, make sure you have the Catalyst on if you want it to synergize with the Strand build, and more importantly with Foe Tracer. Second to this, we're running Foe Tracer, which got a complete overhaul. With this, anytime we damage a powerful combatant, which is orange bar or higher, you're going to mark them, and then you get ×4 weapon surges that match your subclass. So if you mark and damage with a strand ability, you obviously only get ×4 surges for strand weapons. And then if you defeat that enemy that is marked, you are also then getting an elemental pickup for that subclass type. In our exotic subclass, obviously for your super, you're limited to Silk Strike. I don't think this is a very good super, especially for PvE, but it is what it is. For class ability, I've been running Marksman Dodge. I tend not to ever need Gambler's Dodge, and either which way, we tend to use Ensnaring Slam to suspend enemies and actually apply debuffs of Strand to them so that we can make more Tangles. For that reason, Marksman has a much shorter cooldown than something like Gambler's Dodge, so we just run this so we get it quicker. Threaded Spike is obviously your only melee ability, so we're going to be on that. And then for grenades, I've been defaulting to Shackle Grenade. I felt that it's played the best out of all three nades. You can't really utilize Grapple that much with Foe Tracer, and then with Threadling Grenades, you also can't really utilize it that much because Threadling Grenades tend to mark and then instantly kill the thing that you marked. The rest of the build obviously revolves around the new aspect, which is Whirlwind Maelstrom. With this, anytime we destroy a Tangle, it basically sends out a Beyblade spinning tornado-like strand thing that goes and tracks towards enemies. It does a very good bit of damage, and then on top of this, anytime it gets a kill, it then sends out unraveling rounds, then increasing the damage further. Ensnaring Slam is up next. With this, you can just jump in the air. Whenever you have a dodge ability, use your in-air move and then suspend everything nearby. I found this works the best. Something like Threaded Spectre ended up feeling terrible with the build, in my opinion. And then obviously you're going to get no benefit out of Widow's Silk. So anytime you need to suspend something or just apply strand buffs to enemies so that you can create those Tangles again, this comes in clutch. For fragments, I am running Thread of Ascent so that anytime I throw my grenade, I can reload my currently equipped weapon. I'll be real, I'm broke when it comes to strand meditations across all three characters. I would highly recommend switching this one out for Thread of Propagation if you have it, so that you can get unraveling rounds for your strand weapon on melee final blows. Thread of Transmutation is really nice with the build. With this, anytime we have Woven Mail, which should be very often, weapon final blows can create a Tangle. We are on Thread of Generation, which works extremely well with unraveling rounds that are created with the new aspect. With this, dealing damage is going to give us grenade energy, so we're going to still have very high uptime on our shackle grenades. And then lastly, Thread of Warding is how we actually get Woven Mail. This offers a 55% damage reduction in PvE anytime we pick up an Orb of Power, and again, that feeds directly into Thread of Transmutation. These are all the mods I'm using on screen right now. If you guys want, you can pause the video, apply them yourself, or always just use the dim link down below. In the artifact, Thanatotic Tangles also gives a chance for strand weapons to create a tangle. This is nice because even though all weapons do have that ability while we have Woven Mail, when we don't have Woven Mail, then our strand weapons can do that as well. Plus, it's a seasonal artifact mod, so it will be going away at the end of the season. And then after this, I have Elemental Munitions, so that Tangle Final Blows have a chance to generate heavy ammo bricks as well, which also works off of the Finder system. So I don't think it's really a chance. I think it goes off of a counter, so you do get guaranteed drops. On my helmet, I am running 1 copy of Heavy Ammo Scout and 1 copy of Heavy Ammo Finder. With an exotic primary like we're using, this will generate ammo for me and my team every 17 kills, which is super nice. And then with this, I do also have on Harmonic Siphon, so that when I'm using a strand weapon on a strand subclass, any double kill that I get within a short succession generates an Orb of Power, and I can get Woven Mail. Heavy-handed is somewhat nice on the build, because if we do manage to get a melee final blow, even when under power, we do get an Orb of Power that way. On top of this, I'm running Strand Loader with Quicksilver. It's a strand weapon, so this comes in clutch as we're using this for our main ad clear. It does have a slow-ish reload, so this makes it extremely snappy, and I do also have on Fastball. As always, I do have 3 copies of DR mods on my chest piece. This is a really good practice to be in, especially for endgame content. Moving on to my legs, with Recuperation, anytime I collect an Orb of Power, I get 70 HP straight back. With Innervation, I collect orbs and I get 10% of my grenade energy. And then stacks on stacks, while collecting orbs, rather than getting 1 armor charge stack, I now get 2. Like most builds, on my class item, I'm running 1 copy of Bomber, so that when I dodge, I get grenade energy back. This doesn't come into play too often, since I'm usually using the Ensnaring Slam, and I don't think that procs most of these mods. I do have Special Finisher on, so that I can generate special for me and my allies. And then once again, with Powerful Attraction, it probably doesn't come into play too often, but I can use this to collect Orbs of Power nearby. I don't think it works on Ensnaring Slam either. Overall, with the Foe Tracer changes, I feel like it's pretty mid, and that's why I gave it a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. Getting ×4 weapon surges as a benefit is extremely solid, but they only end up lasting 10 seconds. A lot of other exotics for Titan and Warlock both can get up to ×4, and then it's just infinite as long as you keep getting kills. Manual of Battle Harmony does this whenever you're supercharged for Warlocks, and Path of Burning Steps does the exact same thing. I don't really understand why they fully reworked Foe Tracer to make it play so differently than these other exotics. I do think getting ×4 immediately is very cool, but the main application is gonna end up being for burst damage against bosses. And then there's that entire other second part of the exotic perk, where getting kills on marked targets spawns an elemental pickup, which makes it seem like it was half designed for an ability and weapon ad clear cycle. And then also in the case of Strand, there's no elemental pickups, unless Tangles count, and I'm unaware of that, in which case Foe Tracer doesn't even overwrite the cooldown of Tangles, so it just feels very, very weird. Anyways, that is it for the video and for the build. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on Foe Tracer and its rework, along with any other Hunter builds you guys might want to see. I feel like Hunters didn't get quite as much love with this update. Also, I do stream a bunch over on Twitch. If you guys want to come hang out, play Destiny Live, a link to that is also in the description down below. As always, have a good one, guys. Peace.